Hey, you know what I see this as? This is going after the hole at the heart of the American economy. That is the lack of manufacturing jobs. Ron, you worked with the Bushes. You know how hard this has been. This is a decades and decades and decades long problem. What do you make of the announcement today?
I think this is potentially significant. Good evening to you, Jerry. This is very, very important. So many people, millions of people who live in the upper Midwest, who live across this great country, who have built this country and made it the awesome country that we are, have really struggled in the manufacturing base. And the notion that we can find ways to keep jobs here on American soil, to give people high-paying jobs, high-wage jobs, to provide for their family, for their children, and for educational opportunities, I think is outstanding. So I was very, very excited when I heard this announcement earlier today.
Ford, it is exciting, and you know, we've seen millions of jobs, as many as 7 million over 3 decades, manufacturing jobs leave this country, and now we're starting to add them back. This is all part of the Trump magic happening. But I know the liberals out there tonight, what they're saying is this, what Adam said in his report, that Foxconn does not have a good reputation when it comes to managing employees, giving them overtime. What do you say to those complaints?
Well, the liberals are going to poo-poo all over the Trump administration. They're never going to give them a break. And frankly, we should tip our hat any time President Trump works to bring back jobs to the United States. And we should even further give him a standing ovation when he does it to the industrial Midwest, like Wisconsin, which has been the hardest hit by outsourcing. Look, since November of 2016, we brought back 76,000 manufacturing jobs. There's a long way to go. This is a good start. But we got to start focusing on repatriating capital and basically tax reform, because we need to do that more than just in the industrial Midwest. We need to do that nationally as well.
I agree with that. Liz, to you. So Ford was just mentioning the creation of manufacturing jobs, 863,000 jobs that Donald Trump has created since he's been in office. That's the February to right now numbers, according to the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. And yet, I know people out there tonight, they're saying 18 people have died in these Foxconn manufacturing facilities overseas. Is that what we can look forward to, or will it be different here in the U.S. of A?
It clearly will be different, because our unions will be setting down the rules of how we treat our workers, as they always have. This is not going to be an issue. Look, the important message here is we are a manufacturing country, and that's something that really has been sort of lost in all the conversation. If Germany can manufacture, the United States can manufacture. Let's remember, compared to a rival like China or Germany, our energy costs are bargain basement levels. We have a trained workforce, et cetera, and the biggest consumer market right here. But I would like to point out one more thing: 10 electoral votes in Wisconsin, a state that Trump won by 1 percentage point, extremely close. This is an incredibly important thing politically to have happen. And by the way, Scott Walker's up for re-election next week, too.
So, Ron, to you, we're talking about the political consequences here, but I want to mention before we move on, I said Foxconn, 18 people dead. Not true. They committed suicide. Apparently, there's a lot of pressure on these workers in these jobs to work longer hours, to work overtime, whether they want to or not, and pay, of course, not great. And another problem that people aren't paying attention to tonight, and that was the announcement of a very large manufacturing facility in Pennsylvania that never happened. So are we on track to do that all over again, or is this the real deal?
This sounds like the real deal to me, Jerry. I think when you look at the Trump economy and what he's done to revitalize confidence in the American workforce, this gives me a great sense that this will actually come to fruition. The president has made it a clear priority. We've seen him have rallies all over the country since he's been president of, when he says he wants to make America great again, he wants to have a strong manufacturing base to make a situation where it's competitive for business to compete, not only here at home and around the world. And I feel pretty good about this announcement and the fact that I believe it really will come to pass.
Amazon on a hiring spree. We're hearing that today as well. They're going to hire some 50,000 new people. You know, they're expanding like gangbusters. Ford, when you look at this, what kind of impact do you believe? I know you're a political fellow, but you pay attention to the numbers too. Is that going to have broadly on the economy as we start to see these jobs pick up?
Well, I think it absolutely is, because what we're seeing here is optimism when one person goes first, like Amazon and Jeff Bezos, because let's be honest, I don't like Jeff Bezos' political views, but the guy is absolutely a genius. And when he wants to invest somewhere, others will follow. And let me say something else. Yes, manufacturing is important to Liz's point, but something else that the Democrats have turned their back on is energy and fracking, and that can also help boost jobs, not only in the industrial Midwest, but in other areas of the country as well. So we need to be looking at this as a total package, and 3 areas that the Trump administration sees to help boost the economy outside of tax reform is energy, tech, and manufacturing. And those are things that it seems to me that the Democrats have turned their backs on. And if we can deliver results, the Trump administration will live and die by the state of the economy in the fall of 2020.